evening, board. Thank you for your time. I believe our community has more to offer than circulating a petition that condemns and asks a single board member to apologize for decisions made by the entire board or a board majority, especially when those decisions were made with good intent and earnest deliberation. I wonder how many people who signed the petition actually took the time to speak with the board member before signing. Regarding the decision by the previous board about our principal, the public exercised their right to disagree with that decision and ask the current board to reconsider it. Unanimously, the current board agreed to do so. I believe that was a responsible decision by this board and a constructive process by the community. This petition has neither of those qualities. The board has made two very important decisions recently with a unanimous vote. I hope this board will continue to be responsible in their decision-making and responsive to community concerns. Whether we agree with their decisions or not, we can support their obligation to make decisions by participating publicly and constructively, or even by speaking to them personally. Our community is full of people who care passionately about education and the welfare of our students. And I know for a fact that this board member is one of those people. I think we will all be best served if we try to remember that and work together on behalf of our students and the quality of education in our district. Thank you.
Pat Freeman.
Good evening, members of the board and our superintendent and our staff. I'm not going to be speaking for myself, but I am going to be reading a letter from Dr. Felix Nunez, who couldn't be with us tonight because he's at a conference in Sacramento. Dear board members, I apologize for not being present at the meeting tonight, yet I ask that my written comments be included in the discussion tonight concerning the matter of Principal Sharon Heinrich's contract renewal. As both a Coolidge and Jefferson parent, I became aware of the issue last week when my daughter reported that she had heard discussion regarding the decision at the school. Although the details were not complete, I was able to gather information from sources and become aware of the details. I take issue with the attempt to force board members to publicly apologize for a personnel decision reached after receiving significant public comment and then considering the facts of the matter for over 3 hours. A public apology in this instance for a decision reached by our elected officials appears to be nothing more than a public shaming and can have a chilling effect on the ability of any school board in the future to make difficult decisions. For those elected into public office in a democratic process, accountability ultimately exists in the form of the ballot box. Short of this, voters have the will of the electorate, and pressure tactics from a vocal minority, in my estimation, threaten to undermine that. If members of the board have committed acts which call into question their capacity to serve in their elected office, it should be brought back to the voters to decide their fate. Yet it does not appear so in this case. In this matter, it appears that the school board reconsidered its original position, taking into account public comments, calling into question the value of asking for public apology. With these thoughts in mind, I would strongly discourage board members from making a public apology for their decision, knowing that the future holds great uncertainty and possibility even more difficult and contentious decisions for our public schools. With sincere regards, Felix L. Nunez. Thank you.
This for you. Lee Freeman.
Yes.
Lee Freeman.
Lee Freeman, 537 Gerona Avenue, San Gabriel, 91775. It concerns me greatly that I think what has happened, although I have not personally seen it, a petition has been circulated and may be or may already have been submitted to the board. And as I understand the content of that petition, and like I say, I haven't seen it, it seems to be directed at one board member, former board president Denise Menchaca, which, as stated in Dr. Nunez's letter, seems to be an attempt to shame Mrs. Menchaca for the way she ran some meetings and the position she either did take or didn't take in her role, either as a board member or a board president. I was board president for 4 years on this board, and there were a number of instances where we had very controversial decisions. I didn't always agree with, or didn't always vote the way a lot of the citizens wanted me to vote, but nevertheless, I was elected to vote and to think through what I thought was the best thing to do. The community can disagree with what Mrs. Menchaca and Mrs. Doan and Mr. Stadler agreed to do on December 5th in their decision to end the contract of Principal Heinrich as of the end of this school year. They deliberated on it for 3.5 hours. I would not have proceeded the way they did, but on the other hand, the very next night, or 2 nights later, it was Mrs. Menchaca herself, I will remind everyone, who said she wants to reconsider that decision. That decision was then reconsidered on January 9th, and by a vote of 5-0, they reversed the decision and instructed the new superintendent, Mr. Brand, to, 1 minute to go, to look into the essence of the concerns they had. The concerns they had are not all able to be discussed in public. I don't know what all their concerns were in detail, but I believe that Mrs. Doan and Mrs. Menchaca have, more than just about any other board members that I've been associated with, worked their rear ends off trying to do the best for this district with bond issues, showing up for this and that. So I believe a petition that wants a public apology from Mrs. Menchaca is way misdirected. Other decisions that some people haven't liked, like the PLA decision back in October of 2010. I was not on the board at that time, but I had a big problem with that decision too, but 3 of the members voted for it. If there's criticism on that, you should be directing your displeasure at not Mrs. Menchaca at this time. So I really want to emphasize that what I heard from Felix Nunez's letter, I agree with completely. If you're going to hang or try to hang or shame a board member because they don't vote the way you like, time. The process.
Okay.
William Wong.
Hi, my name is William Wong. I'm a teacher at Gabriel High School, and I speak on behalf of about 50 teachers and counselors at Gabriel High School. And I'm presenting a letter. I'm not going to read the entire letter, but just certain excerpts. This letter is directed towards current board member Denise Menchaca. Dear Ms. Menchaca, we, the undersigned, are submitting this letter in order to request clarification for a number of actions that you have taken while in your prior role as San Gabriel Unified Board President and in your current role as member of the board. Below, we have given each event a number, summarized the main details of the event, and posed clarifying questions. We know that you have served in this district for a number of years and have positively contributed in many ways. However, the events noted below have caused confusion among staff and the community. This confusion can lead to misunderstanding, mistrust, and a loss of confidence. We hope that you will take an opportunity to clarify these events and answer the questions in order to build trust and confidence with staff members in the community once again. The letter goes into 5 different events. Let me just summarize them quickly. First event was the special board meeting on January 18th, 2011 for what we believe was 1 employee review, or it might have been 20 employee reviews. And it lists the facts and the questions we have on that. Event number 2 was about using San Gabriel Unified resources to promote a political event in March 2011. Event 3 was about removing Gabriel High School students from the Gabriel Gymnasium in June 2011. Event number 4 was, as referenced earlier, the September 2011 board meeting conversation regarding student drug use. And the 5th event was the most recent, the 2 special board meetings and the 1 regular board meeting concerning the principal of Gabriel High School. We, the undersigned, are communicating this letter in the spirit of humility. We believe that well-intentioned, rational people can look at the same facts and disagree with our interpretations of the same facts. However, we write this letter in order to try and understand your rationale through this series of events so that we can clarify any misunderstandings we currently have. As stated previously, misunderstanding can lead to mistrust, which can lead to a lack of confidence. We believe that building trust is important in order to partner as an educational team to serve all students in the best manner possible, and we invite you to clarify these events. This letter evolved after all the special meetings concerning Gabriel as principal. Many people and several people have provided information to substantiate the events and the questions that we put forth in this letter. And after much research and clarification of each incident, we felt it our duty to bring these questions for clarification tonight. Thank you.
Domingo Torres Rangel.
While those packets are passing around, I just want to say that I'm speaking on my own behalf. I'm not speaking on behalf of the union. I'm not speaking on behalf of Patty Kim or Dina Dragoo. They did not ask me to speak, but I am going to talk about them. No one else, I'm just here on myself. No one asked me to do this. I'm doing this on my own. I want to make that perfectly clear before I begin. What I've sent you in this packet are 21 emails that I received from Denise Menchaca through my school SGUSD, San Gabriel Unified School District email address. These 21 emails that you are looking at span 11 months. Included in these 11 emails are 3 political campaigns: the San Gabriel City Council election, the Los Angeles Community School Board election, and the recent the San Gabriel School Board election. Denise Menchaca clearly states in all these emails who she supports, who she doesn't. These were all sent to my San Gabriel Unified School District email address, which is in clear violation of the cover letter memo sent from Susan Parks that we are not to use school email addresses for political endeavors. So, and here's my point. I turned 7 of these email addresses into my superior, Mrs. Sharon Heinrich. She turned these in to her superior, Dr. Susan Parks. The very next day, we received that cover letter, and so we were all admonished to not do what Denise Menchaca had done. There was no punishment, as far as I know, that was given to Denise Menchaca. Now, here's what I'm really here for. We have 2 brave teachers, Patty Kim and Dina Dragoo, who exercise their constitutional rights to get involved in helping, trying to get 2 school board officials elected. They should be applauded and rewarded for their bravery and not punished. These 2 teachers were served in their classroom by a San Gabriel Unified School District letter. I can't think of a more intimidating thing you could do to serve somebody in their classroom with a letter. And it says for inappropriate campaign activities, and and possibly including jail time. What I'm asking for tonight is if Denise Menchaca can send 21 emails over 11 months over 3 campaigns and not be punished, that the 2 teachers should not be punished for their bravery in getting involved in a political campaign. A letter should be sent to these 2 teachers and be told that the district will never act on the threatening letter that's sitting over their heads, possible jail time. How would you like to have that letter sitting over your head, that threat, and it's never been answered?